Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. You may know Skillshare for classes in photography, film and video editing, and illustration. But did you know that Skillshare has hundreds of career-focused classes too, ranging from financial management to building a creative career? Personally, I really like Digital Anime Coloring and Shading Masterclass by Juha Ekman. From his class, I learned how to color and shade anime eyes, clothes, and common objects. The class mainly focuses on cel shading and lighting techniques. It's a great introduction to coloring anime for beginners. Not only that, you get to access the demo drawing files in PSD and CSP for further practice. If you want to learn how to draw better, now is the perfect time to invest in yourself. The first 500 people to click the link can get 1 month free trial of Skillshare. Konnichiwa, Senpai desu. Have you ever imagined what the perfect leg looks like? Not too long, not too short, and just with the right amount of muscles. Well, today, I'll guide you kohai step by step on how to accurately draw legs and feet. Alright, without further ado, let's begin. Here's how the legs appear from the front. Since females have wider hips, the upper part of the female thigh is wider and rounder. As for males, it depends on their fitness level. Generally, women's legs has a smooth and beautiful curve, whereas men's legs tend to be leaner and more muscular. But regardless of gender, the upper parts of thighs is still the thickest section of the leg. Now, let's talk about the reason behind these curves. Which part of the thigh should be curvy, and which part should not be curvy? Well, our thighs are made up of many muscles, and among these muscles, the sartorius muscle is one of the major muscles that define the shape of the thigh. So visualize the sartorius muscle as a strap running through your thigh. Due to its contraction, our inner thigh appears curvier than our outer thigh. This curve is more noticeable in characters with thicker thighs. A common mistake many beginners make is drawing the thigh high too straight. The inner thigh should appear more compressed due to the sartorius muscle. As for male characters, they generally have a more defined thigh due to higher muscle density. If you're interested in drawing super muscular characters, I recommend finding references from the internet. But personally, I'm not a big fan of muscular thighs. After all, thick thighs save lives. From the front view, the calf muscles look like a pentagon shape. It's like a slanted stick with 2 triangles attached to the side. The keyword here is slanted, so make sure this blue line is slightly tilted. Next, the exterior calf muscle is larger than the inner one. Hence, the exterior line should be curvier. For females' calves, aim for smoother lines and subtlety. Now let's look at the back of the calves. Its structure is a little complicated and hard to grasp, but all you need to know is the popliteal fossa, a unique shape that resembles the Japanese letter 8. It is advisable to depict this letter to portray the popliteal fossa at the back of the knee. Also, another important muscle is the Achilles tendon. Feel free to include this when you're drawing the calves. Alright, it's time for
feet!
Drawing the foot is challenging due to its asymmetrical geometric shape. But don't worry, the foot can be broken down into 3 basic shapes. The middle part of the foot, aka the bridge, can be represented by a trapezium shape where the front part has a shorter height. For the heel, we can use a triangular prism with a flat front face, and the toe can be represented using a rectangular shape. Here's how these shapes look in 2D and 3D. Simple, isn't it? Now let's dive into the individual parts of the feet. Firstly, the heel. As shown before, use a triangular prism with a flat front face to draw the heel. After that, further refine the shape of the heel into a rounded rectangle. I know it looks weird, but hey, that's how our heels look in real life. Next is the ankle. Our ankle resembles a hollow cube with only 3 surfaces. Imagine putting a hollow cube on the bridge. One thing to note is that the left and right side of our ankle has different heights. The ankle of the inner foot is higher than the exterior one. Keep this in mind. When we observe from the front, you will notice that both the calves and the feet will form in opposing direction to each other. From the top view, the shape of the foot can be portrayed with a pentagon. When determining the direction of the toes, the orientation is crucial. All the toes point in the same direction, unlike our fingers. Remember not to draw the toes in a straight line, because they are arranged in a slanted angle. Among the 5 toes, the big toe is distinctive due to its size, direction, and shape. The big toe points upwards, as opposed to the other 4 toes which has a downward curve. I know some foot positions could be quite hard to draw. For these, you might need to look at pictures for reference. And there you have it, folks. If you're interested in the materials I use for this tutorial, you can get your hands on them by signing up for my Patreon. Stay tuned for the next video. Feel free to support me on Patreon, I really appreciate it. please drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Twitter. DM me if you want a commission from me. Alright, that's all from me. じゃあな、後輩。